Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Connected Pakistani show, and I'm your host, Muniem Rizvi. Tonight, we had a guest from Leeds, London, UK, and her name is Sobiya Jawaid. She's a leadership coach, international speaker, European kickboxer. Without any wasting of time, I'm going to invite my guest, Miss Sobiya Jawaid. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Connected Pakistani show.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for taking out some precious time from your busy routine. And it's such an honor for me to have you on my show.
And thank you for inviting me and for me to have this opportunity to be on your show. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Sabia, let's start. As I already told about you, first of all, I would love to know that how you become a leadership coach.
My journey started from coaching itself. So I went through my own journey of personal development where I started to study to be a coach. And as I went on that journey, I realized that there were certain people that I wanted to work with. And these were people who were high achievers, but wanted to be more successful, get more performance out of what they're doing and have more success. And there were just certain obstacles that were coming in their way. And these were the people that I was connecting with, that I was ending up helping, and I was getting some fantastic results. And so as I became and qualified as a coach, I then started working with these people, and the results and the performance that they were having got better and better. And so that's how I then specialized to be a leadership coach. So I coach leaders, and I coach anyone or any professionals that are leaders and take a lead in their own life. And so they're the people that I work with. And that's a snapshot of how I became a leadership coach.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's move towards our interview session. I would love to know more about you. Would you please like to tell us about your education, exactly what you did? Did you studied all in the leadership studies, or you have studied something else like business or engineering or something else you studied?
That's a really good question because actually I come from a biology background. I studied as a biologist, and I went through university. I then actually went into the teaching profession where I taught for approximately 15 years. I was teaching in high schools here in the UK. And it was during my journey as a teacher, I knew I had a higher calling. Sayed, I can't see you, sorry. So I'm just making sure that you can hear me.
I'm hearing you. Just continue it. I was
Okay.
doing something.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, so I always knew I had a higher calling. I always knew there was more that I needed to do and I wanted to do. And whenever I did voluntary work and charity work, I felt I was connecting to my higher calling, to this purpose that I have in my life. And it was through coaching where I started to work with these people and I started to get some fantastic connections. And I really felt as I was helping people grow and contribute. And so I then moved professions and I left the teaching profession. So just to answer your question, I come from a science background. I went through school and university studying the sciences, and now I'm doing something completely different. There are aspects of it that are transferable from my teaching profession, but in terms of my background, it's a biology background.
Got it. Uh, just yeah. Now everything is okay. I was setting up something, so that's why I just removed myself from the main screen.
That's
Okay,
fine.
as you told that you were a biological teacher, and yes, I think if a teacher, it's my thinking. I'm not think I am wrong or right, but what I think I'm told, I'm going to tell you that uh, whenever who is a teacher, he is a leadership coach. It's my thinking. He knows how to make leaders from his class, from his students. So, what is the difference between a teacher and a leadership coach,
What you say is
according to you?
Yeah,
according
what
to
you
you?
say, yeah, what you say is a great point. You are shaping lives, and in the coaching world, there are values that are important to us. And so for me, the value of growth and contribution are very important. And I was doing that. And as a teacher, you are shaping young people, and that's incredibly rewardable. And you are shaping the leaders of tomorrow. And so, yeah, there is that parallel there. There is that similarity there. But for me, from a personal perspective, I wanted to be in a more high performance environment, in a environment where I was impacting people on a much wider scale. And as a teacher, I felt that I was able to impact or create the change on a wider scale. So for me, it was very specific in my subject as a teacher, ensuring the knowledge was imparted. And so for me, I connect a lot more with what I do as a coach.
That's great.
I don't know if that answers your question, Syed.
Yeah, you answer my question. Okay, now let's talk about something about leadership. How a man or woman can become a leadership,
For
can
me,
become a
a
leader,
lead,
can become a
yeah.
leader. Sorry, not leadership. How a man and a woman can become a good leader or leader.
So for me, a leader, and I alluded to this right at the beginning, a leader is anyone who's wanting to take a lead in their life. And that means they're willing to take action, willing to move forward and progress and learn. So this is not just leaders. I do work with managing directors and CEOs and businessmen and women. I work with high-end professionals, doctors and scientists, but I also work with people who are willing to take a lead in their life. And that's why I call myself a leadership coach. And that is somebody who is okay with wanting to move forward, wanting to progress, whether that be in their health, whether that be as a parent, as a mother or a father. They're wanting to learn, take action, move forward, progress. Or even in their personal life. Because when I do my coaching, it's not just professional coaching. As individuals, we're human beings. We are the same person that goes to, as people, we're the same person that goes to work. We're the same person that's at home with our family, our friends. We're the same person. And so when I'm coaching, it's not just professional coaching, it's about their personal life as well. So that is a leader for me. Anyone who's willing to move forward, take action and progress.
Okay. One thing more, everyone asks, maybe a lot of people should ask you, but I'm going to ask again. According to you, what are the qualities you think that leaders should have?
Recently, this has been coming up because of COVID and the global pandemic, leaders seem to be thinking they need to have the answers. And that puts leaders or people in positions of leadership under a lot of pressure to have the answers, to know what to do, to be able to guide people. And what I think is really important for leaders is, and a good leader especially, is this willingness to learn and collaborate, to listen to the people around them, their teams, the environment that they're in, to listen to what they're saying and change and collaborate and cooperate. Because when we are able to do that, or when leaders are able to do that, it means they're moving forward. They don't have all the answers, but they're willing to learn and willing to take actions and move forward. And they're also showing courage. So even though they don't have the answers, they're willing to learn, willing to collaborate, willing to take on board what people around them are saying, and also to show courage, and do things that haven't been done before.
Okay, got it. Now let's move toward why most of women not come forward as a leader. What was the main reason?
See, this is a complicated question, and there are a number of factors there. And so, and without going
Like,
to them
like
into them,
if I just elaborate this question, like a lot of women I know, they have qualities of a leader. I think that they should be a leader, but I don't know why was the reason they don't become a leader. I'm not talking only about Pakistan. I'm talking about all of the world. I'm not talking about the Muslims. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the all of the world, human being. As a human being, I'm taking this question.
Okay, so just in a very general way, there are people that generally in high positions, they are generally males. And so, what I, from a female perspective, is to keep moving forward and for men also to recognize the contribution and also the change that women can bring. And so these positions also need to be created. These positions and the women need to be also given opportunities, and we talk about equal opportunities. And so I think that is an element there. And there is also this, there are certain obstacles in the way of women when they are going into senior leadership or higher leadership positions. And that is a reality that many people, or many women face. And there is an important aspect of that to consider. So I don't think it's as simple as saying there's not many women in leadership positions, and that is an issue. There is an issue here on both the side of the men to be able to have this discussion and how can that be created and equal opportunities, and also for women to keep moving forward and progressing and being in those positions as well. Sorry, Syed, I can't hear you. I think you've muted yourself.
Thank you so much for your answer. Now I have to take a break. We'll be back after a short break, and this break I'm going to play some important message for all over the world and also for especially for Pakistan.
साईं, हमारी फसलों को कीड़े लग रहे हैं, साईं क्या करें?
बस आसान करो।
आसान करो हैं?
साईं आजकल तो दुबई के बड़े चक्कर शक्कर साईं, नई नई पैंट बुशर्ट साईं। साईं कोई हमारा भी दुबई में रोजगार करा दो साईं।
आसान करो।
आसान करो।
चाचू ये थ्योरी समझ नहीं आ रही, समझाए ना कैसे करूं?
आसान करो।
हैं? आसान करो?
बेटे, इसमें तो बड़ा मसला है, शहर भेजना पड़ेगा।
दादी आसान करो।
आसान करो?
वीडियो करो, आसान करो।
अपनी जिंदगी की हर मुश्किल आसान करो। YouTube करो, सब आसान करो। A public service message by Rehan Foundation.
Thank you for your waiting. It's a public service message for all over the world and also for especially for Pakistanis, that make it simple, make it easy. Anything you want to learn, anything you want to know, just YouTube it and know the answer. What's the question is in your mind? Okay, what do you think that nowadays a lot of people moving towards social media and digital media platforms, and they are becoming a motivational speaker and inspirational speakers. They have some stories, success stories. So are they using the exact way of social media?
I think it's an incredible time for people to have their voices heard. And I think social media gives people that platform to be able to speak and have their voice heard. With anything, I think there comes an element of responsibility. And so if it's used in a responsible way, in a mature way, and then I think it's great. It's always a great tool to have. And I think it's powerful because in the past where people weren't able to have their voices heard, or there were certain ways of quietening people down, I think social media has been brilliant. And also I think it's a great way for people to be creative, to show their creativity as well and share that with people around the world. And also with COVID and the pandemic across the world, it's been a great way for people to stay in touch, to keep spirits high, to be able to share what their challenges are. So yeah, I think it's a great platform for people to be in as long as it's used in a responsible way. See that I think I've lost you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, might be there was a connection problem, so that's why I just disappeared for 1 minute might be on the screen. Okay, now moving towards, as you are originally raised and born in UK, but I think your parents are from Pakistan. So, do you understand the Pakistani language called Urdu?
Yes, I do understand it.
Okay, because a lot of people want to know about you, as I told them that you are also a kickboxer, European kickboxer. So can you tell us about that? How you become a European kickboxer, and it was early in your childhood. You started this kickboxing, or you started in the teenage?
Yeah, I was in my teenage years, and my father came from a judo background, and an opportunity arose where there was a club that was training people in kickboxing. And so my father actively encouraged myself and my younger sister to train as kickboxers. And so myself, I trained for 10 years, and during that, I participated in a national competition here in the UK. And myself and my sister both won and qualified to represent the United Kingdom at European level in Germany, and that was back in 2006. And I came back from the competition in Germany, winning a silver medal. And at that time, I
That's
was also training as a teacher. So I was going through my training as a teacher to become a professional science teacher. And so I had qualified and won silver, and I'd qualified to represent the United Kingdom at the World Championship in Florida. But because I was training to be a teacher, I decided to go down that path and continue as a professional teacher, as opposed to going and fighting the World Championship. And it just goes to show that when you don't have clarity, there's choices that you make which, when you look back at, can be quite regretful, and that is one of the regrets I have. But I also am super happy with the fact that I had that opportunity and I was able to progress and have the support of my family for that.
that's great. Okay, one of my students asked that what is exactly the kickboxing?
It's a martial art where you are using your legs to kick and your hands to punch, and you do kickboxing. It's a bit like karate or judo. It's a martial art. That's what it is.
It's a mixture of taekwondo and karate. I'm right?
It's more of a modern form of a martial art. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, as we already talked about, like why women are not becoming a leader, but I also have a question regarding uh, both like man and woman. Like a lot of people think they don't have a courage. They know something, but they don't have a courage to ask or to tell people that they have some skills like this, or they can they can do this job or this task. So they just remain quiet because they don't have a courage. So as an international speaker, how you encourage people that no, you can do it. How you can made it a courage in them.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it comes up a lot in my coaching, especially with my clients. And we make the assumption that people who are successful or people who are in leadership positions are confident, but this element of courage and confidence go hand in hand. And when we have courage, it's really important because we're willing to step out of our comfort zone when we feel that it's just going to be handed to us. So, as some people may assume that, confidence just comes like that, it doesn't. It's a muscle that you exercise. It's something first, you require courage to do something. And the more you do that, you become better at it and you become confident at it. So, whether that's speaking, whether that's doing any sort of thing within your job, confidence comes as a result of showing courage and repeating that so you become better and confident at it. And so, anybody who is there and wishes to be more confident, I would encourage them to start taking small steps towards what they're wanting to do. Whether that's at work, whether that's within, say, for example, speaking, whether that's confidence to speak with people from a different background or in a work environment, wherever it is, just start off with a small step And as you become familiar with that, and as you show courage in that small step, you will then move forward and progress. But it starts with this willingness, the willingness to step out and take action. It's not going to be handed to you. It never is.
Okay, great. You tell us about the courage. Now, we have some people in our life or in our circle that always discourage you. No, you can't do it. No, no, you can't do it. You don't have a guts to do this. So, how to deal these kind of people who always discourage you or your emotions? How to deal with them?
That's a reality of life, right? You have people who are going to be there, but the important thing and the most empowering thing is to realize that you have a choice of how they affect you. They can't force you to behave in a certain way. You have to enable them or take on board what they say and be discouraged or disheartened by that. So to realize that you have a choice in how you deal with that is a really empowering place to be in. And there is always going to be negativity there. There is always going to be somebody out there who's going to say you're not doing well or is negative. However, the question is, how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to let that discourage you and let that hold you back? Or are you going to take responsibility and do what's important for you? So I think for me, the way I think is a powerful way to deal with it is recognize you have a choice to reject that negativity, reject or
Okay,
not
now,
take on board what they're saying or that negativity.
okay, got it. And now I have a next question regarding behavior. How we can change our behavior and actions?
Behavior and actions start off
Like
with the way we think about.
if someone
Sorry?
if someone is discouraging us, if someone is discouraging us that you can't do this, how we have to act on this kind of things, like how we can change our behavior at that time. Sometimes if someone say no, you can't do it, people become hyper. No, I can't do that, like this kind of thing, or they can fight with each other with the words. So how to deal at that situation?
Yeah. So it's important to realize that it all starts off with your own thoughts. And so some people will let that negativity discourage them, but there are some people who are super resilient and they'll say, well, I'm not going to believe what you're saying and I'm going to do that. It starts off, your behavior and the way you act starts off with your thoughts. What are you thinking? And so if you are not in control of your thinking and you get really triggered and really emotional by what people are saying, you're not in a position of power. You're not being controlled. You're not in control of your own behavior and your own actions. And so I think it's really, really important to be mindful of your thoughts, what's going through your mind, and realizing you are in control of your actions and your behavior. Other people, they're external. They can't make you do things and they can't make you behave in a certain way. You choose to either react to what they're saying or you choose to ignore or not take on board what they're saying and continue to do what you're doing and continue to progress on your own path.
Okay. I was watching your wall, and you did I think a session, or I think you can say a proper workshop, that how to reclaim your confidence. Like a lot of people have confidence, but due to some reason they just lost their confidence. How to build up again their confidence? If you can tell us in 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah. So again, confidence from my perspective comes from courage. When we show courage to be in a certain environment, when we show courage to have certain conversations, when we show courage to behave in a certain way, the more times we keep doing that, the more confident we become. So in my opinion, I think people assume confidence just comes like that. And actually, there is a journey behind that. And you can choose the way you think about things. And when you think good things about yourself and you are willing to take that action and have that courage, if you do that and you keep doing that, you will become confident. Confidence is a byproduct of courage.
Exactly, confidence is a byproduct of courage. If we have a courage, we have a confidence. Thank you so much, Miss Sobiya Jawaid. You came to my show. It was such an honor for me to have you on my show. It was such a pleasure meeting to talk with you and to learn from your experiences. And you answered very beautifully because I have a lot of questions from different kind of aspects, and you answered me. Thank you so much. In the end, I would love to ask you that kindly give a positive message. And if you give a message in Urdu, it was quite good for all of us.
Okay, so my Urdu isn't very great, so I will share in English because I think that's what I feel comfortable with. And the message I'd like to share with people is this, that you as an individual are very, very powerful. When you look into your own strengths and you look at what you do well and you focus on that, that is incredibly powerful. But when you look at other people and what they're doing, and then look at what you are not doing, that's a really disempowering place to be in. So what I suggest is look at your strengths, look at your positive attributes, look at what you're doing well, and build on them. You're a powerful person. And when you use those strengths and when you use those things that you're good at to do more of that, then you're progressing, you're moving forward, and you're more empowered.
Thank you so much, Miss Sobiya Jawaid, for your wonderful message. Now I have to end our session here, and I'm going to end our session in my own language called Urdu. तो आज का शो यहीं पे इख्तिताम हुआ इस उम्मीद और इस दुआ के साथ कि जहाँ रहें खुश रहें, अपना ख्याल रखें। और आखिर में एक इम्पोर्टेंट मैसेज तमाम देखने वालों के लिए, सुनने वालों के लिए, ऐसे तमाम अफराद जिनकी अनकरीब शादी होने वाली हैं या फ्यूचर में शादियां होंगी, बराह करम शादी से पहले अपना और अपने होने वाले लाइफ पार्टनर का थैलेसीमिया का टेस्ट लाजमी करवाएं, क्योंकि आज एक छोटी सी एहतियात आपके आने वाले कल को बेहतर बना सकती है। अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह ने के बाद।